don't tell Lindsey's husband, but tonight I'm taking her to the prom. And if you want to know what that means, don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. That was good. That was
Thank
good.
you.
Hi, and welcome to the ArtsFam podcast.
The only show of its kind that spotlights the arts and entertainment scene in Southern Maryland.
We're your hosts, Lindsey, Pommerenck, and James LePore. And every episode, we bring you an engaging interview with a local artist or entertainer that's part of something that you can enjoy this week in Southern Maryland. Because, as you're always saying, James,
There is more to do here in Southern Maryland than you have time to do.
I know that's right. Speaking of, James, where are we?
We are on the stage at CSM La Plata's theater department. In the name of the theater is?
Brad and Linda Gottfried Theater.
I knew that. I just wanted to hear Anne-Marie say that. And this is Anne-Marie Saunders, the director of the Prom. And this is their opening night. We just watched the show, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hire buses or something to bring you all over here or something. So,
All right, Anne-Marie, let's start us off. Have everybody introduce themselves.
Yes. Well, first of all, yes, I'm Anne-Marie Saunders. I am the director of the show.
I am Sarah Jones. I play Angie.
I am Richard Lehman. I play Barry.
Hi, I'm Heather Farley. I play Trent, and I was also the set designer and master carpenter for the show.
Hi, I'm Reese Newhouse. I play Emma Nolan. She's gay.
So is Barry,
Okay, bandwagoning.
No spoilers.
Right? Oh no! Shh. Edit that out.
Hi, I'm Akira Pickering, and I play Alyssa Green.
Hi, I'm Taylor Scott Hines, and I play Mr. Hawkins.
And I'm Annie Lee, and I play Dee Dee Allen.
All right, so Anne-Marie, why don't you tell us what is the Prom about?
The Prom is a wonderfully uplifting tale about two groups of people who teach each other a lot about life. We have a group of celebrity Broadway stars who are trying to give a boost to their fading careers. Yes, that is these four performers here. And they decide they're going to take up a cause that they hear about a poor young girl, a young lesbian in Indiana, who has invited her girlfriend to the prom only to have the prom canceled by the PTA. They come into town like they're going to tear it up and teach everybody a lesson in small town Indiana, and I think they are the ones who learn that they really need the lessons taught to them, and Emma teaches them a lot of lessons along the way.
That's a really good synopsis. That should be on the back of the script or something.
Thank you.
That was really very good.
Thank you. I tried.
Obviously, this is a very queer-forward show.
Yes.
So you also directed Rent a few years back.
I did.
I believe that was your first show here at CSM?
That was my first show back. I did do some directing while I was in graduate school at University of Maryland, so I was around, and I've lived in La Plata now for like 18 years. That's the longest I've lived anywhere. I'm a military brat, so just the fact that I've lived anywhere for 18 years is crazy. So when I was in grad school at Maryland, I was like, hey, I live in town. Do you need me? So I directed a couple of shows here, but it's only since Rent that I've been full-time. So Rent was like my first show here as full-time, and then I've been doing shows the last 2 years.
That's awesome. So
Thanks.
I'm kind of sensing a theme here. Rent was a massive deal for Southern Maryland theater to have this unabashedly queer-focused show. It was, to my knowledge, the first of its kind here, which is awesome. And then we have The Prom, which is another, but like more recently created queer-focused show that is just like next level. And it's all about joy and love and acceptance, and it's so is there a vision I'm sensing here?
Well, I mean, the cliches about theater are very true. That we have lots of gay people in our midst. We're very embracing and very. I know you're like, what? Where? How's that crazy? And I know it's so surprising. So you might be shocked to know that there are many shows that feature gay characters in the theater. And one of the things I wanted to do being here is find a spot for us. We have a lot of theaters in the area, which is great, and everybody's kind of got their own like niche. And I said one of the things we don't do is we don't have a place for a little bit more challenging theater, and so I think that's a great place for a college to fit in. And it also gets to be accepting of like a large student body. We have a lot of queer students on campus, and just being able to celebrate that. And do some stuff that maybe like, the area high schools couldn't do even if they wanted to. Maybe the community theaters, have to focus on patrons a little bit more. Here at the college, this is an educational institution. So we're not about, it's great if we make some money, but that's not what we're here to do our theater for. So it's a great opportunity to do something a little more edgy and a little more, I guess, challenging. Yeah. But it's definitely a fun, this one is really a lot more fun than Rent. Several actually of the actors here, 3 of them were in Rent as well. Okay. So if you saw Rent, we have Taylor and Annie and Reese were all in Rent. And I believe there's 3 other cast members of the Prom who were also in Rent in our ensemble.
So let's pivot over to these 2 amazing young ladies here.
Yay!
Stop. Guys, just real quick, these 2, the chemistry, the cute, first love, teenage, oh my God, I was melting in my seat. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about the chemistry. How did you guys develop, what felt so real?
Unless you're really in love, we don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe it's just all acting.
No, sorry to disappoint you, Akira. I have no confessions. It kind of is just the script. Don't laugh at me, Heather.
Don't laugh at me.
It's just kind of the script. The script lends itself to that like authentic sweetness really well. I've talked about it a bit in rehearsal. There's also like the vocal placement. Oh yeah. Makes me tear up sometimes. But also it's a real story. It's a real story. I'm gay in real life. So I've gone through the thing of like, oh, what's wrong with me? Because of like societal pressures and stuff. And so I think for stepping into the chemistry of like, oh, this, we have to hide. It just kind of came to us, I think.
We talked a lot about like what we wanted to do, and even came up with like a further backstory of like what's already been like given to us. Oh. So we even made playlists.
Yeah, we did. Oh my God,
we
made in-character playlist. Emma made a playlist for Alyssa, and Alyssa made a playlist for Emma.
I'm telling right? These are students
like
here at CSM. Actually, that whole row right there, Heather, Reese, and Akira are all CSM students, and I couldn't be prouder. But yeah, the 2 of them, I kept teasing them every once in a while. I would say like, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you like hardly any attention in this scene rehearsal, but you guys are like, you're just doing all your work like already. Like they would just work on their scenes on their own, and these playlists for each other, extensive backstories, and I was like, okay, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna go work on this crazy choreography scene or whatever. But yeah, no, they're really solid.
Where do you advertise auditions for this? Is it basically university, centric or?
No, one of the great things about being a community college is the shows that I choose, I want the goal to be where we have some community members and some students. Because it is sort of we don't have a big like arts hub here in the area. We have lots of small theaters around, and one of the things our college president likes is that she thinks of the arts, the music and the theater here and the visual arts as community serving. We are a very public facing program, unlike other ones. Like people don't go and like come in and be like, let's see what the math department is doing. So we don't get the public in that way. So I like to choose shows that have the opportunity to have other actors, more experienced actors, like we've got like Taylor and Annie and Richard and Sarah who have been doing a lot of stuff. I have students. So I choose shows that have both. the trick has been when you say about how do we advertise, that's in this moment in time, that's really difficult because we do have a Facebook presence and we do share on Facebook, but like these guys aren't on Facebook. Like these are, you know, they're 20. They're not on Facebook.
No.
We do a little Instagram, but that's kind of, it's becoming more and more difficult, but like they don't read the newspaper to try to figure out how you get the word out.
Gee, if only you were friends with a couple of podcasters.
I know. I mean, that's amazing. And I love that. But yeah, it's definitely in our media age where information is everywhere. It's harder to find places to figure out where you want to get that information out. So I've been fortunate that we have enough of a following. Like I said, I've done shows with, we figured out that actually I did a show with Sarah a million years ago when she was a young child. I directed a show of Oliver, which she was in. And then, like I said, this is these are students. Annie, I've known since a previous job. Former student. So Annie's a former student of mine when I worked at Anne Arundel Community College. And then I've got community members. So like, it sort of works itself out, but then it's a difficult thing to get the word out, but we just try to word of mouth and social media.
I want to make sure that people know though that this should be included in the, you know, in the little theater community. Yeah, because everybody's NTP, PTP, New Direction. No, you come here too. So
thank you.
Amazing show tonight.
Thank you.
And Sarah smells so good. I'm so glad I'm standing here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, thank
me.
It's really
I'm sorry. Just see my tie.
It's so good. I'm gonna give you this back.
All right, so we were talking about these 3 students over here. So we need to come down to you.
Heather.
Okay.
Heather.
Because I'm a theater tech nerd, and I hear that you, like, this set is like your baby, right?
Yes.
Probably
Yes.
the biggest regret of an independent study ever.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, just a brief kind of talk about what the set process was that, you know, last semester I was in CSM's show Murder on the Orient Express. This is actually my first and probably only year at CSM just because of, you know, other college plans. But, you know, I was trying to come up with what credits I was going to do this year because I was trying to get, like, all of my theater art credits, like, out of the way as fast as possible. And I realized that just math-wise, we couldn't do it. So I was like, Anne-Marie, the numbers don't work. And she's like, okay, we'll get you the numbers. So she's like, why don't you just do an independent study? I'm like, great, what are we gonna do? And then our tech director was just, you know, I don't really want to design the set for the prom. Why don't you do it? And so I was like, okay, I'm doing that. And so, you know, those first weeks, you know, was a lot of uncertainty because, you know, I haven't done this before. This is very new to me. And so it was, you know, creating these mock-ups, not really sure what I wanted. Until eventually I kind of got to this point of where I kind of had this vision of what I wanted and I just kind of let the building take off. That's where I've always enjoyed the most. And so I would just come in every single day when I did not have classes, you know, like Tuesdays and Thursdays, don't have class until the evening and then rehearsal. So I would just come in for 8 hours a day and just build and paint. Because I love doing it. It stressed me out a lot near the end of it when it wasn't done. But I love doing it. So I can't decide if I regret it or not.
Well, let me tell you, you should not. This set is gorgeous, and it's so dynamic, and it fully fills the stage, especially the final scene. Just
Oh, the transitions are just seamless too. It's beautifully done.
Oh my God.
We have a great stage management team that is also all students that I'm so proud of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud.
Yeah. There's two of them sitting out right there. Yeah.
I want to brag for a second. I got the pleasure to train the stage manager who called this show and one of the ASMs, Raina. They're phenomenal. I'm so proud of them. They're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
Yes, stage management.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yay, stage management.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly, like you're saying, the transitions were flawless. And even when there was like a little hiccup during a scene change, like the band, they just kept going, man. And like everyone just kind of moved with it. There was even one where like a guy, like, I think he tripped over something for a second and like played it off as like a comedic moment. And the audience was in for it. And it was just killing it, guys. Killing it, stage managers. Yay. All right, So let's go to our celebrity activist.
Yeah, let's hear about their
okay?
characters, what they think of their characters would be nice.
Yeah, so talk to me. How do you become these characters every night?
That is a difficult question. Because, and it's funny especially talking to Anne-Marie about stuff like this, is that me and Dee Dee Allen could not be more different as people. She is all ego, all brassiness, all everything, and I'm like, hi, I'm just here. But there's something about the magic of costumes and makeup that just changes everything. As soon as, I put on the first costume and the lights come up, I don't know, just a switch flips, and I
love it.
I am suddenly Dee Dee Allen.
And oh my goodness, she is. And can we talk about that belt?
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Right?
This woman's voice just fills the entire theater. It is just next level.
Back when she was a student in my previous job, she played Tracy Turnblatt in our Hairspray production.
Oh my God.
And yeah, she's phenomenal. I think she and I met, and then she wasn't sure what to make of me when I first got there, and then she did every single show with me, and she's just been one of my favorite people. Some of them slightly originally unwillingly. Yeah, some I sort of I didn't audition for Romeo and Juliet, but I got roped into it anyway. Yes, you did. And you were fabulous. But yeah, I mean, her voice is flawless, and one of the things when we were casting this, and I was like, I know that Annie is young for this role, and I think the first day, the read-through/sing-through, she started singing, and I remember Richard didn't know her yet, and he was kind of like, oh, do I know anybody in the cast? He's messaging me, and I said, well, there's these people, and he's like, well, I don't know her, and he told me later, he said, I was wondering, he's like, yeah, she came in and she's kind of young, he's like, and then she sang, and I was like, okay, okay, she's got it, but yeah, that belt is amazing.
Let's hear about Barry's character. Barry,
Yes, Barry.
Richard, what do you have to say about playing Barry?
Well, I guess I can say that I was really drawn to this show because I will say I'm of the Madonna generation, and I can say Madonna generation because it doesn't really age me. But I really grew up in a time where I could not be who I was in elementary, middle school, high school. Even it wasn't until I went to Shenandoah Conservatory for music theater that the land of the misfit toys when I came out of the closet. So when someone told me they were doing a prom, I mean, I'm driving an hour to these rehearsals and shows. It just meant so much to me. I think especially in today, this is a real important message to be sent out to people and to be delivered. And I think that our community has worked so hard, and I came from that generation, that we can't move backwards. And I think this is such a show that is wonderful and well received by anybody. And I think you can't see this show.
Right time.
Yeah, I don't think you can see this show without leaving with some sort of a light bulb moment. Yeah. No matter who you are. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I resonate not with, well, maybe sometimes the narcissism, but not mostly the narcissism. I do resonate with Emma going to the prom because she was in a different era than I was in. I don't know, you might want to edit that out. I guess what I'm trying to say is I could not be who Emma was in my real life. So, and I resonate, especially Barry's Going to the Prom has a lot of subtext when I'm doing the song.
Thank you for sharing that, Richard.
And I will say it was beautiful to see that connection between you two, where it was like when you looked into her eyes, like you could see your young reflection staring back at you, the what ifs, what could have been, and you're getting to see it fulfilled in this young kid. And it was, and it was beautiful to see how you were kind of looking at him as almost a pseudo-parental figure in that moment a little bit too, which was also beautiful because of your character's backstory, and just, it was great.
We resonated at the table read. I mean, just the very first time we met, I just feel like it was,
I think I walked into the room late and you were reading a line and I went,
It's like, who is she? No, I'm just kidding.
Anne-Marie, am I right in saying this show does not seem like it was hard to cast? I mean,
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. People came in and it was easy to fit the roles. There was a couple things where I was like, is it this person or this person? But once, and I tell them all the time, I go, sometimes you don't get a role, but it's less about your ability and more about the combination of the people. And so that process was a lot easier. Like, I really felt like I had the talent, and there was just a few little shufflings, like, what if this person is here or this person is here? But it was minor. Like, when it clicked in, it was like, this is it.
Well, the finished jigsaw puzzle is a beautiful thing.
Thank you. I love them. They're fabulous.
Sarah, why don't you tell us about your character?
Sarah's also fabulous. My character, Angie, she is a 2-decade-long chorus girl. I personally grew up dancing. I've done it since I was 5 years old, and I love her love of Fosse. It's something I can connect to a lot, but also I can really connect with that feeling like you never get that chance to step out of the chorus. Growing up in theater, I was so grateful to be in the shows I was, but I was always the dancer. It's what I was known for, and it wasn't until I actually moved to North Carolina for my first year of college that I was seen as anything else. So I feel like I really connect with Angie in that way, and that feeling of wanting a moment that you don't think is ever going to come. So it's really amazing to see her arc in the show and just her kind of like confidence being built through Emma, even though she's the one trying to give Emma confidence. And I know, like, she struggles with the day drinking, and that's a bit of a problem. We've all been there. I could drink. Yeah, she always has her flask handy. But I don't know, I feel like I really understand her character, even though she's more of like she has more of like those comedic moments. There's a lot of, I think, emotional vulnerability in her.
Yeah, and that really came through with this song that you shared at the top of Act 2. Oh my God, and just like you had that like parental moment, you also had that parental moment where it was just beautiful. So thank you.
I think you can tell we love
that.
this show.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
already redoing my day tomorrow so I can come back here tomorrow night. So
Tell your friends.
Okay, so that leaves you.
tell us everything.
The principal.
The high school principal, not like the principal of the cast.
Oh, yeah, high school principal.
No.
Yeah.
Principal. Everyone needs friends.
So let's talk about your character then.
Principal. Because everyone needs friends. Yeah, so Mr. Hawkins, he's I kind of feel like an interloper of like the LGBT cast of characters where it's like, I'm a bisexual man, and it's like, not a lot of people know that about me because I don't advertise it. I've been with my partner for 10 years now, so it's like it's neither here nor there. But it's like I play a straight man in the show, and it's like try to like betray that I'm a straight I'm a straight man. And but like what I resonate with my character, it is I resonate with that. The importance of being an ally with people, especially with younger generations. You have to kind of be a role model and kind of put yourself out there and kind of be brave to not kind of look kind of silly.
Yeah. And then you two, your connection. Oh my gosh, it is, guys. It's beyond adorable.
I love Annie so much.
We when we were in Rent together, that whole experience built such a strong connection with everyone involved in that show, to the point that we still have a group chat going on sometimes. Like we have all become so close and so much like a family that when I found out that Taylor was cast as Mr. Hawkins, I was like, yes. Yes, because I was like, this is I finally get to actually work with him, because when we were in Rent, we were Angel and Joanne, who don't really have a ton to do together, but
this time I was like, I finally get to actually have moments, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
He's so much fun to work with.
Yeah, we just like fell into those scenes essentially of just like.
To be honest, that was also fun when I was talking with the music director. So the music director for this show, Will Durr, was also the music director for Rent. And when he and I were talking about casting, and he's a much more hip guy than I am. I'm like an old lady, but he's like this hip guy. And I'm like, what do you think about this? And he goes, yeah, I can ship that. I can ship that. I can ship Taylor and Annie. And I just thought it was sweet. It was super sweet. I was like, yeah, actually we can ship that. I can ship that.
That's a name that comes up a lot, Will Durr. Tell us about the choreography, please. It's just blown away.
Yes.
That, how long have you been rehearsing? Like 3 years on this?
Yeah,
Or what?
Sarah talk about that because yes.
Brooke Howells, the woman that she is, I adore her. She actually cast me in my very first show when I was 11, and she's been choreographing me ever since. She's a genius. She can come up with things on the fly. She is so accommodating for everyone's ability levels, everyone's comfort levels. She makes everything so fun all the time. I mean, Zaz was just such an incredible experience because she made it an incredible experience. Yeah. She understood Fosse. She understood like how to draw poses from all of his shows. Like she's so clever and incredibly kind. She's just an amazing person to work with.
How long have you been in rehearsals for this show?
We did well. We less than we should have been because the snow pushed our auditions back.
Yeah.
So our auditions got pushed back a week, and then a second week, and then it was just kind of a pain, and we got a little delayed. Brooke did a great job, and then to be honest, the teen cast has like the most dancing, and they would go and practice and practice and practice in other rooms. We were split a lot during rehearsal. We would be like, okay, the Broadway cast, we would call them sort of the Broadway gang. They'd be in here working on scenes, or Alyssa and Emma be working on scenes, and the teens would be dancing. Wow. Any free moment they had, they're dancing, and they were practicing, and they practiced so much, but they did a great job. But it was really fun choreography.
And we want to also thank you all for staying after that performance. I mean, you worked so hard on stage, and yet here you are talking to us, which we certainly appreciate. And we're going to make sure everybody knows how great the show is.
Thank you.
How many more shows do you have?
We have 5 more. So we have, tonight, Saturday night, Sunday matinee, and then next weekend, also Friday night, Saturday night at 7:30, Sunday matinee at 3.
Okay, awesome. And tickets are online?
Tickets are online. You could also come and get them in person. And when
they're so cheap, there's no reason everybody
$10.
shouldn't go.
$10.
My goodness.
Okay, and then I hear rumor that there's this cool thing called the Prom that you can go to in person next weekend.
Yes. So our Campus Sage Club, which is our LGBTQ club on campus, is in conjunction with this show, is hosting an actual Pride Prom. It's next Saturday, and it's before the show. So it's from like 4 to 7:30, so that you can go to the prom, and then you can come over and walk across campus and come to the show, the Prom. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And age limits?
Word on the street is they're going to be raffling tickets.
They're raffling free tickets.
Yeah.
There's no age limit. It's open to the public. It's sponsored by the club, so they're doing it hopefully for students, but they are also having it open to whoever comes. Okay. I know they're having pizza, so there you go.
Can you dance on pizza? I guess.
I don't know. 100%. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. As always, thank you so much for joining us, you beautiful human beings, on the ArtsFam podcast.
See you next time.
Bye.